After a short wait, the new USD Shadows have been released a couple days ago. So today we're going to do a little review and first impressions of this new skate. So these are the new USD Shadows. I guess I could do a brief little history about Shadow. If you guys remember, Shadow was Latimer's creation, and I believe it came out in 2004. And basically, he had this concept that a skate should just be a skate without all the hard plastic around it. And he took a concept, and basically, there's no hard boot to it. That everything around the skate was essentially surrounded by this binding system. Much like a snowboard binding system works. Same thing how these skates work. So that was 2004. He had a good team around then. It was probably Latimer, Stockwell, and Farmer. And these are them. And they came out in 2004, 2005. So they had a good 2 years. I remember them being quite popular. Aesthetically, they don't look very, very good. But that's, I guess, is dependent on who's looking at them. To me, I think they look pretty good in terms of a skate. But to a lot of people, because they don't look like a traditional skate itself, I think some people were turned off by them. But I know that the people that have skated Shadows pretty much all loved them. But yeah, these are them. So 2005, I think it was, Salomon was owned by Adidas, and Adidas sold to Salomon part of the business to a different company. And then it was that at that time that the new company decided not to keep producing the Salomon ST skates, STIs, and because of that, because Salomon was also helping produce the Shadows, there weren't any Shadows being produced. So I remember there was a time when you couldn't find any sole plates or any parts for the skates, like the velcro systems, and it wasn't until, I guess, Powerslide decided to pick up the Shadows. And I think it's because I think Latimer was faced with the decision of keeping his patents and holding them forever and never releasing a skate, or giving them to Powerslide so that the skate can live on. So here we are, 13, almost 14 years later, Shadow is still being produced now. Under a different name, USD Shadows now. These are reminiscent of like the original Shadows. You can tell with the 1.0 cuff. But yeah, we're gonna break it down. We'll dissect the skate together and see what's going on with it. So this is it. You can tell that now they have the top strap is a little bit wider now. I know that the old straps probably about 3/4 the size of this, but they beefed up the strap system up here. It's a single strap. I know that some Shadows had like the dual strap this way, but now it has the new Shadow font on there. If we take it off, this is what it looks like. Now there is the binding system. The binding system is a little bit slimmed down, and it's a little bit different. You can tell because on the old Shadows, 1.0s and 2.0s, they had another plastic piece that came up here. That was part of the upper cuff area. And now we have the toe strap. The toe strap has always been on Shadows. I like the other toe straps where they had that little piece right here that helped distribute like the pressure a little bit. But these work. I do feel it up here on my toes, and it's like this. And the straps feel a little bit better built than other straps, because I remember a lot of the straps that Shadow had, over some time, they start to unravel. And this is what we're left with. This is the actual liner. Old Shadows, they had what was called the foot wrap, and that was an idea where you could essentially wear, like the old Latimers, where it literally looked like a wrap of a shoe, and the shoe went inside the cuff area and the sole plate, and it had a bunch of padding right here. The binding also had padding up here too for the cuff area. But now we're left with the Eclipse liner. The Eclipse liner looks like it is a collab with USD, and you can tell it's right here. It says Universal Skate Design, Type Walkable Liner, Eclipse High Top USD Collab MyFit. So MyFit is another Powerslide company, and looks like they got together to make this walkable liner. Overall impression of the liner is that the liner is very well built. It does kind of look like a snowboard liner, you can tell. You know, it works well with the Snowboard S type binding system. In terms of sizing, I wear a size 7. I got a size 7 liner. They fit true to size. My toe's right at the end where I like it to be. And USD is nice enough to give you a little heel pad. I do like the heel pad because I put it in here so it gives me like a slight little raise in the heel. Much what I'm used to. I don't like to be super flat. So that's nice. The laces, they feel they're slightly waxed, you can tell, to help hold it in. In this lacing system too, that USD has used before, is you just pull really tight and it's got a little clip on here that holds it in. So this holds in your foot really well. It's essentially a shoe, it looks like. You can walk in it, I assume. I don't know if I'll do too much walking in it. I'm going to probably stick to just skating purposes. And this is what the liner looks like. It's a USD Eclipse liner by MyFit. And that's that. Now, the skeleton itself is a little bit different, I can tell, from prior Shadows. You can tell it's got the new sole plate on it that they put on the 2.0s and the 1.5s. And it still has the old Shadow branding to it, which is cool. I like it. It's got the newer logo. I preferably like the older logo, but this is it. Shadow has always been known, or people have liked Shadows also because that they're really customizable in terms of size range. The old Shadows came in 2 sizes, small and large. I believe it was size 4.5 to 9, 4.5 to 9, and then 9.5 to like 12 or 13 was a large size. Now the new USD the new Shadows have always come in 4 different sizes. This would be considered a size extra small, but different sizing helps it. The only drawback is, you have to get 4 different size sole plates. But the old Shadow sole plates were I wasn't the biggest fan of them. They came in 3 pieces, and they were really wide, and that was the thing about people would say that sometimes, like, Shadows used to be cheater skates or because the sole was so big. But these soles aren't as big as original Shadows. But having a nice sole a bigger sole is a benefit, when you come from like riding Rossies or old Volos, that the sole is a little bit on the smaller side, and you don't take a small sole for granted. You trust it a lot, but on a bigger sole, it is a nice addition. But back to the customization. This is the original Shadow cuff. It's got the little cutout, like pedals they call it. But it has now a, if you pull the cuff out, you can tell that before all the Shadows came with these little receptors. One was up here and one was down there, and that's how they held the skate in through the UFS system. But now on the cuff they have the actual metal baked into the plastic itself, so that you can slide it in and probably get, I assume, a better fit from it. You're not clanking around so much. So the cuff slides into the sole, and you can have a different fit back and forth, 4 different sizes of how much you want your foot to be placed, either farther back or farther forward. I like my toe to be right here, just like you can see with these right here. Yeah, but that's how you customize it. I know on the old Shadows they had like a size range all listed, but these just have little grooves. And that's pretty much what they beefed up on the actual cuff itself, is that they made it more rigid for everyone, probably to hold everything in place, because what it's going to look like is when you have your UFS frame, you have UFS bolt 1 up here, and then you put the bottom one right here, and you screw it in there, and it actually screws into the actual plate itself, which is nice. It helps keep it secure. But yeah, other than that, the flex, I've always liked the flex in Shadows. The flex is good. It reminds me of like a Volo flex from side to side, or Rossi's flex. The forward flex is a little bit different. You do get a little bit more forward flex compared to like old Shadows, because you're missing that plastic tongue piece that used to come off the binding system. But now, you know, you're left with a liner. You can just tighten this up a lot and still get a good flex, or you can just hunker down this binding system more, just ratchet it back and forth. You know, overall, I'm really impressed with the quality of the skate itself that USD has done. I know prior I wasn't a fan of the quality of some of the USD products, like, you know, cup bolts used to fall off, or I wouldn't be able to get an Allen key in some of the Kaiser frames. But, you know, I'm happy to say that with the skeleton itself, nicely well built. But the best part of it is the liner now, the walkable liner, the Eclipse liner. There's not like a bad stitch, it doesn't feel wrong, and both liners feel the exact same the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, this is probably the best part of the skate, is now the liner is actually one piece for the actual boot and skeleton itself. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me some comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But just my only recommendation for these is get your normal shoe size that you normally wear. I wear a size 7, these are a size 7. Yeah, but go ahead. Thanks for watching.